Hello everybody and welcome back to the GNU Lectures channel. In this video I'm going to show you how to install a Linux distro. In the last video I discussed things to consider when choosing one along with my personal recommendations, but here is how to actually install one. So first of all you'll need two things, a PC with internet access and a USB flash drive. It doesn't need to be a large one, preferably around 4GB or higher. I'm using a 16GB Toshiba transmemory because it's what I have access to. I'm going to install Pop! OS 20.10, but the process is fairly similar for most distros. I'm also assuming the PC you're using to prepare the USB is running Windows, since that's the most common operating system. So the first step is to plug the USB into your PC to be formatted. Formatting will remove the data from the USB, so if you have any important files then move them elsewhere. I've named my USB Pop. Next, search for an ISO for the Linux distro you want to use. An ISO file contains all the data needed for the OS live environment and installer. Since I want to install Pop! OS, I'll just search Pop! OS download, click the first link, and it will take me to System76's website. Then I'll just click download. Do note that Pop! OS has a separate ISO for people with an NVIDIA graphics card. Some distros such as Manjaro and Linux Mint will have different ISOs if they have different desktop environments, but Pop! OS only has ISOs for GNOME. So while it downloads, I'm going to discuss live environments. So, what is a live environment? Well, a lot of distros allow you to try them out before installing, without having an impact on your Windows install, so you can get a feel for the distro. You can plug it into any PC, boot from it, do whatever you want, then when you turn the computer off, your Windows install is fine and everything you did on the USB is gone. It's actually quite handy if you need to use somebody else's PC. It's mainly to get a feel for the OS and desktop environment. Okay, so now that it's installed, we need to download a program to write the ISO to the flash drive. We're going to use Berliner Etcher. I recommend running it as administrator as it might not let you write to the USB without admin privileges. So the first step is to select the ISO, then select the drive you want to write to. You're going to need to be careful here to make sure you don't select the wrong drive. Now, since it says Toshiba and 16GB, I know I've selected the right drive. Then click Flash. Once that is done, shut down the PC or plug the USB into the PC you want to run Linux on. Then you'll have to load the boot menu on System Startup. For your computer it might be F2, F8, F11, F12, Enter or Delete, or any other key. I'll select the USB from the boot menu and it will start up. Odds are you'll probably see a load of text and errors, but that is to be expected, so don't worry about it. Okay, so I'm on the desktop. After selecting the language, it'll ask me whether I want to enter demo mode, so I can enter the OS before installing, but I'm just going to install it. It will ask if I want to manage partitions, which you would need to do if you wanted to install Linux alongside Windows on the same hard drive. But I'm going to do a clean install, so I just select the hard drive. Pop! OS also asks if you want to encrypt your drive. I'm going to skip this, and now we're installing the OS. Unless you have a really old computer, then it shouldn't take too long. Once it is successfully installed, you can unplug the USB and restart the computer. So once the PC has restarted, it will prompt me to set up a user account, but for most distros you do this before installing. I did the installation in a virtual machine so you guys could see my screen, but I also installed it on this SSD for demonstration. Most distros will notify you that you need to update, or you can select to update the system using installation for distros such as Ubuntu. But here we're just going to type sudo apt update and then sudo apt upgrade. So there we go. Thank you guys for watching and I'll see you in the next video.